Hi Maxbo, and today I'm doing an update on what I've been doing recently because I've been doing a lot of stuff with my dolls, but or at least my fake dolls, my dolls that I don't own currently. But anyways, I haven't been showing you, so I've been messing with my future doll displays because I really like to work on those and pretend that I have all the dolls that I would love to own. So originally I displayed them kind of like a so like this, but if I had, this is supposed to be my dream display. If I had the display, I would put them all like lined up, like next to each other, and that way there wouldn't be any dolls hiding in the back because I'd want to be able to see them. Unrealistic because I don't think that I'll ever have that kind of like shelf space to be able to like have them just one single doll in each row. Like I just don't think that's realistic, but you know, if I did have that capability. So I've been changing everything because I originally had it like that. So now my displays look like this, okay? So it still kind of looks like it's in rows this way, but it's not. These dolls here is like a row, and then this is the next, but it's together, like Kaya Hart, and the next Kaya Hart is Amaya Rain. Is that her name? Yeah. And then I can't remember your name, but it's next to you. Okay. So just imagine it's a row. And it takes up less slides. Anyways, so that's what I've been doing is I've been moving them and also reorganizing them because I originally put them in like dolls that I was not as impressed with or didn't love as much was in the back. So now I got to do that. Anyways, it's not perfect, but I've been working on it. So I did all of these, all of the OMGs, to Ratzillas, to Wild Hearts Crew, to Monster High, to more Monster High, to more Monster High. Keep going, G3, and then we have the zombies, Once Upon a Zombies, and then I finally moved on to Disney, which if you haven't been seeing, I've been doing a lot of rankings where I rank all the Disney princesses. This is what I've been like doing it for so that I can then see all the dolls that exist. Anyways, I'm not supposed to say anymore. People got mad. Anyways, I won't do it. So basically I've been ranking the Disney princesses and I want to show you. So here's all the ones that are currently on here. This is what it looks like. And again, I'm trying to like blend them in. I can't say that's perfect. Definitely looking at some of these other ones, but I went from the wedding dolls to moving into the carriage ones because there are some like carriage wedding looking ones, like those are clearly wedding dolls, and then moving the carriage dolls into dolls with horses because they actually do have quite a few horse dolls. Jesus, I keep saying anyways, so moving from the carriage ones, I went to holiday because I kind of feel like it's kind of giving vibes. I did originally want the holiday dolls to move into the like extra fashions because some of those dolls have like a holiday look. They have like the capes, but I just don't think that that's, I don't know. I just wasn't vibing. And then I did leave the like This Is a Valentine's one, and I was like, I don't know if I should do that, but I left her in here, so if I really hate it I can move it later. I guess I could always put her with like the love dolls. Anyways, moving into, here's more holiday. I wasn't sure if I was like super obsessed. Like this is when we started to get into like, I don't know if I'm feeling it, but especially just like right here, like I feel like these dolls just don't really go great. I moved from, I think this is, what brand are you? I cannot, Simba maybe, to whatever those are. It's gonna keep happening. What is this? Mattel maybe? Early Mattel to the big pack to more holidays to classic to collector to what are you? Not collector, but the anniversary dolls to I think Broadway and musical if I'm not mistaken, and then from the Broadway / musical dolls, I moved to the Enchanted dolls, and that's where we are here. I do have a list of dolls, but I just wanted to show, and then we can see what I have next. Okay, so here's what I have. These Masquerade dolls are gonna be next to the other ones, and I do think that I was originally intending it to be the other Masquerade line, so I don't know if I have a spot for those yet. And then the fall and the flower ones, and then the spring, what's this called? Spring Fair maybe, and then this is something royal something, and then Royal Invitation, right? And then I was thinking that these dolls look almost like pajama-y, so then I put the other pajama dolls, and there's quite a few different ones. And then I put the Mattel budget ones so that I could move into the Disney on Ice, and then this is going to move into either Bicken or like the off-brand, but I was really trying to like make it kind of flow, so I went with like the on ice, even though now that I'm looking, I probably should have put you guys there. Maybe I'll switch it around because these ones look, I put these from this bell to this bell are my least favorite, so maybe I'll put those at the end so that it'll really help flow, because I actually like think Elsa and Anna look pretty good. Even Tiana and Jasmine, and I was trying to get to Rapunzel, they look great. Actually, I'm not mad about the Ariels or Snow White or those Cinderellas, but these ones, they just look kind of weird. And it's crazy that they did a Who Are You? Hercules. Megra. It's weird that they did a Megra. Anyways, currently the ones that I'm still needing to rank is, not rank, but make into my display is Gold, Collector, Series / these are labeled, they just say Princess. I think they're a part of the collector. Obviously Bicken and Simba, and my budget dolls. Those are currently on this slide, which means they're upcoming. Anyways, we'll come back and hopefully I have more added to my list. Okay, so I finished working on this for the day, so I'm gonna go over what I did today. One of the things that you'll see as I go through, I've started doing the way that I ordered them, because like a lot of times I like to go by color, is I did it by, except these, because they're too close, okay, in colors, like pink and red. Anyways, I didn't do that, or I didn't listen, I didn't stick to that all the time. So I did the year that the princesses were released. That's like the order that I stuck to for the most part. So it's Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Ariel, Belle, and then I don't know the order. I should, but for the most part I would go like Mulan and Jasmine and Pocahontas. I don't know the orders of them. I literally only know the first few, and then it's got to be like Tiana, maybe Rapunzel, Brave, Frozen, Moana. And then I think it's the only other one, because like Maribel didn't have an insane amount, or even Asha. I think the other one would be, oh my god, what is her name? Raya. Okay, so that's the order that I went. Typically it only had the first few, so if you can see Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, and Belle for the flower ones, and then we continued that pattern. Cinderella, Aurora, Belle for Spring Fair. Cinderella, Aurora, Belle, whatever that's called. Anyways, so at the bottom we have the on ice dolls, like I said, and then I went to these. I don't know what they're actually called, but I thought that they would switch over nicely, because it's gonna keep happening. I thought that they would switch over nicely because they are smaller, just like Bicken, and I think that's the brand, and I wanted Bicken to be next. And I thought because they're like a little bit smaller that it might transition better, and I didn't have any smaller size dolls, so I was hoping that that would kind of work. I do after we go into Bicken, so I did I did different dolls from the movies that they're in. So we've got Snow White was the first one, and then the Prince, the Evil Queen, and then I also did that version of her, and then we also have the dwarves, and then we have Cinderella's, and then Aurora, and then I put the wedding ones together because I liked that, and then all of the extra characters that we had. And then same thing for when I started Simba, so I did Simba next, and I did characters from the movies. So we have the Prince, and then they also did Snow White as well as the dwarves, and then we did Cinderella, and then there's the Prince and the fairy godmother, and so then I continued all the way to whoever they did. So then it ends with Rapunzel and Flynn, and then I started putting ones that were in series together. So there's the Charm series, and then there's the Ballerina series, and then the Long Hair series, except these two are not a part of this series, but they kind of go with the vibe, so I put them together. And then we have the Disney princesses, two of them, Aurora and Snow White, in their extra outfit that they have. And then I went with dolls that I felt really didn't go with, like, give off their princess vibe / stick to their colors. So we have Snow White in two outfits that, like, I feel like are vastly different from what she wears. These ones always remind me, for whatever reason, remind me of, like, Minnie Mouse. I do not know why. I honestly cannot tell you why, but, like, every time I look at them, I'm like, that's Minnie Mouse. Anyways, so then we have more Cinderella. Cinderella, they did a lot of, like, experimenting all the way. All these dolls are all Cinderella, not Aurora, contrary to popular belief. This one's Aurora. I do still get Aurora vibes, but I put her here. And then we have Ariel. These ones are not, like, too non-Ariel, but I put them in anyways to add more Disney princess. And then we also have Jasmine, and then I put the big pack to, like, space it out. So we got some big packs, and then I put a bunch of Snow Whites, a bunch of Cinderellas. I think I put just, like, the remaining ones because I was like, they don't really have theming. I think that's what I was doing. So then again, I went in that order of, like, Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora, Belle if I had her. Oh no, it would be Ariel and then Belle. Okay, so I did it, I think, in, like, big fancy dresses to lesser fancy dresses, and then lesser fancy dresses to big fancy dresses, and then I kind of repeated that pattern. And then we have Ariel, obviously, so, like, hers is difficult, but that's okay. After that, I have Belle, and then we did it all the way down to, I left, if I had extra princes, I put them at the bottom plus King Trident, and then I just go straight into the, like, budget ones. So I went with, this is the first line that I went with. These are the chonky tops, and this is, like, the knockoff, not knockoff, but oh my gosh, what am I thinking of? The basic, no, budget, there we go, the budget ones. So they basically have molded on and then a plain papery plasticky piece of fabric around their waist. So I went the chunky glitters, and then the crystal glitters start here, and then the metal versions, the newest ones that they did, and then metal pack, I think, right? And then I tried to do some of, okay, so, like, I like that, and then it kind of get lost because it ran out of theming. So I think these are the older metal I attempted, and then I just kept finding them later on. So I think that these are the older Mattel before Mattel got the license back, and these are, again, budgets. And then I put the deco, right, you put them in cakes, and then I have some Hasbro dolls, and then I put in some packs to separate that. And then here is where I was like, I don't know. So I found more of those, which I could have just put them in there, but I feel like these all fit my theming that I was thinking of, and then these are just extras. So basically what I'm thinking is that my goal is not to collect all of these. I'm not going to specifically go out of my way. There's some that I really like and I would like to get my hands on, but I don't think that I'm going to heavily go out of my way to really get them. If they can get into my life casually, then that's okay. Anyways, then I'll make a spot for them, so I'm not super concerned about this display. I like how these ones look from here to, or from this one. Oh my god, I cannot touch Snow White. That's okay. All the way to the big pack. Like, I'm not going to go heavily out of my way, but these ones look fine. I think it's when I start to get here that it went kind of crazy, and then I started putting all of the Ariel. Here's the leftover Ariel, the leftover Frozen dolls, because they're, like, separate brands. They started, like, making, like, Ariel has so many dolls, and then Frozen has so many dolls. So that was that. And then I also have Moana in here, and Tiana and Raya. Again, I didn't have theming. Just put the extra ones. And maybe that's how they'll look on the shelf. Like, I can compare them. I can look at them. And obviously, if I have the dolls, it's easier to see, like, what goes best with them versus, like, looking at stock photos. But as of right now, this is this. And then, like I said, I'm going to finish it off for today. But here's the ones that I still have to rank. Oh, that one is a ballerina one, so it's just these two slides. I could have moved it as one, but I have, like, them separated, so these dolls, do you see all the way down to here, are like the newer Mattel. These ones, I don't know, boy dolls. And then what do we have here? Line that I felt go together. These two, obviously Belle and Ariel, look like they could. These two are their other outfits, and then these two are new Mattel. And I really thought that there were more for her, but maybe there's not. Maybe I should quick do a look. But anyways, this is where I'm leaving off. I think I got pretty decently far. Obviously I still have a lot more to rank and to put into my future doll display, and the display isn't perfect, but like, is it ever going to be? Probably not unless I got them all. But I don't, some of them are like the exact same doll over and over, and I did try to take those out, but the budget basics are not dolls that I specifically need to add into my collection. Some of them I think are really cute, and I would like to actually own them, especially like some of the Hasbro and Mattel ones, but for the most part I don't, like I said, I don't plan to go out of my way to get every single one, so I'm not too focused on this display, and I'm just gonna, finish it up, and then I'll continue on to some of the more exciting ones. But I did want to add these in here so that I can kind of have an idea of what I'm looking at, especially the ones that I do actually kind of like and would like to, be able to accumulate to my collection through thrifting, not paying a lot of money, because again, they're not very exciting. Anyways, I'm Ektar, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Yeah, bye!